Hey guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a spend the evening with me, and I have been loving these on YouTube and I wanted to make one myself. So first things first is we've got to make something to eat. When I get home every evening I am starving, and this week we got little HelloFresh boxes, so we're going to make this cheddar stuffed meatloaf. It looks really good. I've never had this before, but it looks good, and really how wrong can you go with cheese stuffed meatloaf? So let's get into cooking. So this is the little bag it comes in, and this is all of your items other than the meat. So we've got some carrots, some cheddar cheese, some mayonnaise, some beef concentrate, panko breadcrumbs, ketchup, a little pouch of flour, a shallot, and some little tiny potatoes. They're so cute. So now we've got everything out of our bag, and our ground beef comes in a separate little pouch. So we're gonna follow our instructions on the back of our little recipe card and get to cooking. So I don't have a cutting board, and I just use one of our plates, but I washed off all of our produce, and now I'm just going to cut the potatoes in wedges. Another tip, if you do get HelloFresh bag or HelloFresh boxes, to keep your little baggie, and I throw all my trash in it, and it comes in really handy because you don't have to make like several trips back and forth to the trash can. You can just throw them in your bag. Okay, so now I've got all my vegetables chopped, and I'm gonna start with my potatoes. Okay, so I'm gonna line our sheet of parchment paper. And then it says we're going to toss our potatoes in olive oil on half of our baking sheet. So I'm going to slide our potatoes off of our plate. And it says to drizzle with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. So I like the dusty pepper. Michael likes, I call it the crunchy pepper. It's like the fresh cracked pepper. If I can give you guys one tip, and I mean one tip, do not buy the Walmart salt and pepper grinders. They are so hard to grind the salt out of. The Sam's Club ones are much easier. And drizzle these with olive oil a little bit. And then I'm just gonna try to toss them around the best I can. So now we got like a single layer of potatoes here. We'll stir them up like as they're cooking. But those are done. Now I'm gonna set this aside and get a bowl out to make the meatloaf. So now it says to soak the panko breadcrumbs. And our first direction with the meatloaf is to soak our panko breadcrumbs in a tablespoon of water. We're going to add the beef concentrate. And then our meat. Our electricity just went out. Well, I hope it comes back on or I'm not going to be able to cook this. We're going to just go with it anyways. Hopefully it'll come back on. If it don't, I might be going to somebody else's house to fix this. Okay, now we've got our panko breadcrumbs, our beef concentrate, and then it calls for salt and pepper. So we're going to mix this up really well. Okay, now it says we need to form our meatloafs. So I'm going to set these carrots over here. And we're going to make our meatloafs. This is really, really dark. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. Maybe this will be a little bit better. So we're going to open our cheddar cheese. My favorite thing about HelloFresh is that it's like, it's packaged to exactly how you need it. So I really like that. I'm actually gonna make these little meatloafs on this plate. And then we'll put it on our pan. So I'm just gonna press this down in my bowl where it's kind of as even as it can be. Oh, I'm sorry guys. You guys are on like a very makeshift tripod. Sorry guys. So I'm just making my ground beef in this bowl as evenly as I can. I'm gonna just chop it down the middle. And then make my 2 meatloaf patties. Are you kidding me? Woo! Sorry guys. Okay, I changed my position around because the other way just wasn't working. It was way too dark. So, I've got my meatloaves here and I've got my cheese. And now I'm just gonna make my meatloaves. So in the picture it shows that they like kind of flatten them out. Kind of like a burger, I guess. And then put the cheese in the middle. That might be more cheese, too much cheese for one meatloaf. And then just rolled it up. Our electric came back on and my camera died right in the middle of making the meatloaves. I didn't want to wash my hands and then have to go back to it. So I just went ahead and finished making them. We got our potatoes and our meatloaf that's going to go in the oven, and then we're going to get our carrots to cooking. Hopefully the electricity will stay on long enough for us to get everything cooked. So I've got my carrots on to cook. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on these. There we go. Now you can see much better. And some salt and pepper and let them cook. First, I'm going to let them cook a little bit before I put the salt and pepper on it, just to kind of let it hopefully get a little bit of color before I start adding spices to them. Try to get them all in here pretty even. And get back to making the rest of our meal. So now we're going to prep the shallot. So now we're going to work on our shallot. We've got to cut these into little thin pieces. I'm going to try to just like split these up a little bit so they're not all like in rings together. I didn't think shallots would be very strong, but these are like burning my eyes. So I'm just trying to get them all like broke up so they won't stick together. Jeez, those really made my eyes water. I'm going to spread these out pretty good, and it says to toss them in the flour. So it says to toss them in salt, pepper, and flour. So we're going to salt and pepper them first so that sticks to them. And then we're going to dump our flour on. And then I'm using a fork because I'm not joking, those are like making my eyes hurt. And then we're just going to throw it around in the flour. So this is what our onions look like. They're just coated in flour, nothing special. But these are going to get fried up and topped on the meatloaves. So I really am excited about that. So it says in a small bowl, combine ketchup and mayonnaise. I don't like mayonnaise either, so I don't know if I'm going to like this. I like ketchup, but not mayonnaise. It says mayonnaise, ketchup, and salt and pepper. And then it says to add in water until it reaches a drizzling consistency. Now our oven just went off and we're going to put our meatloaves in. And it says to bake them for 17 to 20 minutes. We're going to put them on 20. Just for good measures. And now we're going to season up our carrots. Now we're just going to let everything cook. So while dinner is cooking, I really want something sweet, but I'm not big on like chocolate bars and stuff. So my something sweet ends up being like hot chocolate or coffee or cappuccino. A drink. Ends up being a drink. So most of the time it is hot chocolate or coffee because my coffee is not very coffee-ish. It is more sweet than anything. But here lately it has been a mix of all of them. So I just put like a couple of these spoons, I think this is like a teaspoon, of cappuccino mix. And now I'm going to put 4 or 5 scoops of chocolate mix. You know, until your little heart tells you to stop. Don't leave that out because I might need some more of it. And then this is our homemade coffee. And I'm going to add a couple heaping spoons of it. Perfect. Now, I really want to make it iced. So I've got a cup of ice and I'm just going to pour it over top of it. So now I'm literally just sitting on the living room floor, drinking my iced drink and watching some Chicago PD while the meatloaf finishes up. Meatloafs look done. The cheese is starting to ooze out of them. The potatoes, I'm not sure if the potatoes are done. Let's try one. Almost, but not quite there. Okay, so I took my carrots out of this skillet and I've got some oil back here. I'm gonna add just like 2 tablespoons of butter, a little less than 2 tablespoons of butter for some color. And then we're gonna, once this is melted, we're gonna add in our onions. Okay, I'm super excited about this whole dinner, but I'm really excited about these onions. Like, I'm super excited about them. Now that our butter is melted, we are gonna add our onions in here. Put all the onions in here. We're gonna just like shake them around a little bit. Turn our heat up a little bit more. And we're just gonna let those cook in there. So now that my onions are pretty much done, I'm just going to kind of rake them to one side and put them right on top of our paper towel so they can drain a little bit. Okay, and I'm really bad about reading directions because I was supposed to save some cheese for the top of these meatloafs. But luckily, you know, we always have cheese in the fridge. So I'm going to add some cheese to the top. And we're going to put this back in to finish up cooking and heating everything up. I'm really excited about these little onions though. They're so good. And these are our plates. This was such a good dinner and it was a super easy and simple meal, especially with our electricity going out. So if you haven't ever tried HelloFresh, I do recommend it. It is really nice to have like a convenient ingredients ready to go, measured out for you on those busy, hectic like work days. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. It means the world to me. I hope you guys have a very blessed and amazing new year, and I hope to see you guys here on my channel this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all in the next one.